Guys, welcome back to the channel Meet Praneet. In today's video, we are going to discuss the visa bulletins from April to June, some updates that uscis has shared, some exciting numbers that I have just found out, and why I was not making videos in April and May. So watch this video till the very end because all the answers are in this video. To start with, why I was not making videos in April and May? It's because I was moving. So my wife and I, we moved from Boston to Bay Area, specifically to the San Jose area. And that was called out because of the change in the job. So I was looking for a new job and I got one. We finalized everything in April and made the move. We drove across the country. Everything was so beautiful, exciting. The road trip was fun. And finally, we are in Bay Area, we are settled, or at least I would say we have everything in place. So now I have some time to make videos and make that informative content that you are all looking for. I know gaps on YouTube definitely, basically the algorithm would not show my video as frequently as it would have been before when I was constantly making them. But I'm also pretty sure that the relationship that I have built with you guys, you would definitely share this video again with your friends, with your colleagues, and will hopefully charge the algorithm back up. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is how fast I can get you the news. There are some really good updates that are in the scene. There are some updates with the EB-2, EB-3 application. There are some updates with the visa bulletins going on, some numbers that have came out. So I'm all very excited. And again, one thing that was very important, that the number of H-1B registrations were less this time, and thanks to the updates to the system, the false registrations or fraudulent registrations were less. So there's a lot to cover, and the videos will come out every week, and we'll try to cover all of them as soon as possible. Now, some of that might be repetitive for you guys, but I would still suggest you to watch it because sometimes you might have missed some information from the other videos or the post or LinkedIn, which I would try to cover here. Now, starting with the April to June visa bulletin, the first thing that we will cover is what is happening with the family-based. So on an average, we are seeing that there is a 5 to 6 months of movement in the family-based. Now, let me talk about some numbers and let me walk you through them, right? So on your screen, you must be seeing these numbers which talk about the April, May, and June visa bulletin specifically for family-based. Now, some of you might know, but still, F1 is for unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens. F2A is for spouses and children of permanent residents. F2B is for unmarried sons and daughters for permanent residents. F3 is for married sons and daughters of US citizens, and F4 is brother and sisters of US citizens. So again, you can always find this information on the visa bulletin link, which I will put in the description. So do check out the description link. Now, coming to the movement, right? So you might have already seen my video on April, but let me just quickly walk you through each category and the movements we see. So all chargeability areas except those listed means the rest of the world. So if you look at F1, there is a movement of around, if you say 5 months, that is, it was 8th Feb 2015, now it's 8th July 2015 in May, and it continued to be the same in June. For China, it was 8th Feb 2015, again it moved to the same 8th July, again 5 months of movement. That was same for India, and also that remained the same in May and June. So basically, where we see a movement of around 5 months for RO, China, India for F1. Now coming to Mexico and Philippines, for Mexico, the movement was 1st May 2001, sorry, not 2021, it's 2001, 1st May 2001 to 15th of October 2001. So that's around, if you say 5 months of movement again for Mexico, but the dates are different from what India and RO were. Philippines, again, 1st March 2012 to 1st March 2012, no change, and that change was also not seen in the June. However, for Mexico, if you look at the dates again, for F1, it was 1st May 2001, then 15 October 2001 in May, and that further increased by at least 2 months, and the date has now become 1st January 2002. So if you see, in total there was a movement for around 7 months, or I would say 8 months for Mexico, ranging from 1st May 2001 to now 1st Jan 2002. So this is what happened for F1. Now if we look at F2A, if you see for all chargeability, again 8 September 2020 to 1st June 2021, which is a great news. It's moving, and it moved by almost, if you look at the numbers, it's around 3 months here and 6, so total of 9 months, which is a big movement. Again, you see the same thing happening for China and India. So that means that Rho, China and India are moving in very similar rate, right, and around the same time. So for China, again, it moved from 8th September 2020 to 1st June 2021. India again 8th September 2020 to 1st June 2021. And that was from April to May. So we see around 9 months of movement. Now when we move to June, we see another movement, which is from June to November. So again, it's around a quick 5 months of movement that we see. So in total, there is a 10-month of movement that we see from September to November. Now, if you see the dates, again, from 1st June 2021 for Rho, China and India, it moved to 15 November 2021 for all three, right? So it's again, in total from April to June, it's around 11 months of movement. Now, if we come to Mexico and Philippines, again, there is some movement. 8th November 2020 to 1st February 2021. That means there is around 3 months of movement. Now for Philippines, it was 1st June 2021. Now it's 15th November 2021. So again, you could say that easily there is 5 months of movement. So as you can see that both F1, F2A are having some movements, and very good news for India, China, Mexico, all over there is a good movement seen. Coming to F2B, if we look at the dates for India, China and Rho, they were 22 November 2015, and that moved by to 1st April 2016 in May, and then remained 1st April 2016 in June. So that means no movement from May to June, but still, if you calculate the number, it's around 5 months of movement for India, China and Rho in the F2B category. Coming to Mexico and Philippines, Mexico was 22nd October 2003. It has moved to 1st March 2004. So if you look at the movement, it's around, again, 5 months of movement that you see. And again, Philippines, 22nd October 2011. Again, it remains 22nd, so no movement for Philippines in F2B. However, if we go to June 2024, the Mexico becomes 1st March 2004 to 8th of July 2004. Again, there is some movement seen, like if you see from March to July, it is around 4 months of movement that is seen for March, for the Mexico, but no movement for Philippines. Now coming to F3 and F4, which generally are really retrogressed. There's not much to discuss here, but at least we see some movement happening, right? So why don't we discuss this? So if you look at Rho, China and India in in April, the dates were 1st October 2009, and that moved to 1st Jan 2010 for all the three. Now, if you come to Mexico, it was 8th September 1998. It became 22nd July 1999. Again, some movement there. And for Philippines, it was 8 June 2002. Now it became 1st August 2002. And we have seen this from the previous numbers and videos. If you have seen my previous videos, we have discussed this, that Mexico and Philippines, or Mexico in general, is the most retrogressed country in the family-based green card. Now coming to June, if you see the numbers, again, there is some movement from 1st Jan 2010 to 1st March 2010, again for all the three, Rho, China and India. If you look at Mexico, it's again 22nd July 1999 to 1st December 1999. So again, sorry, it's like almost 20 years back. So it's 22nd July 1999 to 1st December 1999. And then there is no movement, or some dates were moved also for Philippines. Now F4, if we look at the board, again for India, I would say for China and Rho, it was like 8th June 2007. Now it moved to 22nd July 2007. For India, it was 15 December 2005. Now it moved to 15 Jan 2006, there's some movement. And then for Mexico, it moved by again a few months from 15th October 2000 to 22nd January 2001. And for Philippines, it was 15 June 2003. Now it's 8 September 2003. And if you go and take a look at these numbers in the June 2024, there's not much change. There's like a few months change for both Philippines and Mexico. So overall, what it tells us that the family-based visa does have some major movements going on. Specifically, those movements are seen for F1, F2A, and F2B. And as we know, like these are really the important categories, because if you look at F2A, this is sons, like children and spouses of permanent residents. If you look at F1, there is unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents, and F2, of citizens, US citizens, and F2B is unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents. So these are the most important categories when it comes to Indians or Chinese, right? So I think there's some movement, and that is good news for all these three countries, all the two countries, and also the rest of the world. Now let's discuss what happens for the employment-based category. Now coming to employment-based category, the first thing that we observe is there's not much of a change that you see from April till June. Right now, if I put the numbers on your screen and if you look through them, what we see is for first employment category, EB-1, or the first category, it's current for a row of 1 September 2022 across, then 1st March 2021 for India across, and there is no change for Mexico and Philippines as well. Now coming to EB-2, it's again no change across the countries, across these visa bulletins. But if you look at EB-3, there is only change that you would see is that there is almost like 7 days of backward movement for EB-3 India. Now, again, other than that, if you look at the dates, again, not much of a change across the board for other countries, or like if you see across these different categories. One thing that is important to note from EB-2 and EB-3 is that USCIS mentions that there could be further retrogression in the rest of the world, and those could be true for Philippines and Mexico as well. Now, what does that mean, right? Because if you look at the numbers here, not much of a change across. That means there is not much of a spillover or extra visas that USCIS has in hand that they can use to move these dates forward. The good thing is, let's look at the good things first. The good thing is that there is not a change in EB-1. That means that is going down, that is going up. That means it's stable. That means USCIS doesn't see a lot of intake of EB-1 cases, or cases where it could lead to a retrogression, right? Amount of cases that could lead to a retrogression. But coming to EB-2 and EB-3, what we see is USCIS clearly mentions that there could be retrogression in EB-2 and EB-3, specifically in the rest of the world, which is right now at, for EB-2, it's 15 Jan 2023, and EB-3, it is 22nd November 2022. These could be retrogressed, and because these dates are same for Mexico and Philippines, these dates for Mexico and Philippines could also be retrogressed. Now, again, we don't have any information of how much retrogression we will see in June, but coming to July, August, and September visa bulletins, these are the most important ones to look for. The reason is because in October, you will have new numbers for the fiscal year 2025. So that way, USCIS will have more information in October to see how much upscale movement or downscale movement will happen in these categories. But for the next 3 months, it would be important to see how much of a change in EB-2 and EB-3 is shown. Because when USCIS says that there is a high intake of applications, that could lead to a big retrogression, which again, that will tell that there is not much spillover coming from EB-1, helping EB-2 and EB-3. So in total, what it means, like if I have to summarize, EB-2 and EB-3 will follow the path of retrogression in coming months, because once the rest of the world will start to retrogress, EB-2 India, EB-3 India, China will also retrogress. The only good thing from it is that EB-1 doesn't seem to be affected right now, although it's already affected by 3 years, which itself is a big change or a big retrogression, but we don't see anything happening for the next upcoming visa bulletins. And in October, once we have new numbers, it could be that it helps the EB-1 also move a little bit forward. Now, this was the information on the April, May and the June visa bulletins. What we see from this is there is not much of a change in employment based, though some bad news can be expected for EB-2 and EB-3. There is definitely some movement in family based green card category. Now, one question that comes to your mind is, what should be our plan of action? Let's say you are someone who is on your H-1B, right? And they have 3 more years to go or 4 more years to go, and they are deciding whether to go for EB-2 and EB-3, or what exactly should they do, because the retrogression is just increasing, right? It's not going to get down. I would suggest you to think about EB-1. If you're from engineering, if you're from technological background, if you're from science, if you're from any field that EB-1 covers, you should think about it. Now, a lot of you also ask me, like, the EB-1 is also getting retrogressed, but EB-1 is also tough. So not everyone will be able to get into EB-1. The other thing is, like, people who are from rest of the world or Mexico, Philippines, they don't need to try for EB-1 because their dates in EB-2 and EB-3 are as much as current as the rest of the world. So they don't have to worry about it. Who has to worry about it is India and China, right? And again, if you are very close to EB-2, EB-3 priority date, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you are, let's say, in 2018, 2019, 2020, you should think about EB-1, right? Because it could give you a good chance of getting qualified and also getting a green card the same or the next year or whenever the EB-1 becomes current. Now, let's talk about the other things. So the first thing is, the video will be coming out soon on H-1B numbers. We'll talk in detail of what happened, how this new method or stringency that USCIS applied helped or not helped, that we will discuss. I think it helped. Now, the other thing is, I was looking at some numbers, and for India, if you are born in India or if you had used cross-chargeability of India, then in March 2024, 58 cases were approved for India. Again, it's just March number, but it's not a bad of a number because 58 cases were approved. And as I said, the retrogression is there, so that means the number of cases approved for India is really high in EB-1 for March. Again, we will talk a little bit more detail in across all the board for 2024, 2023, and I'll give you more insights on how these numbers look across EB-1. And with that, thank you so much. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please share it with your friends, colleagues, and as you know that I also provide consulting on EB-1. So if you think that you want to discuss your case, you want to discuss how you can benefit from EB-1, what are the gaps you have in your profile, and how I can help you strive your profile towards a strong application, then please feel free to set aside time on the website that's been shown in the screen or in the description section, or and always feel free to DM me on LinkedIn or follow me in LinkedIn. I post regularly there, so looking forward to connecting with you there as well. So with that, thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon with new videos.